Welcome to the live. Just when we thought it was getting sunny, right? It's been nice, hasn't it? I'm bloody gloves back on. Um, it's been lovely. Yesterday was amazing, and then it feels like it's getting cold again. I remember thinking yesterday, what is it now? 6th? Yeah, it is 6th of March, right? Remember, was it last Sunday, 1st of March? First day of spring officially, seeing the first shoots. Feels like that, definitely. Just gone cold, and I think the universe has a way of clubbing us around the head when we get a bit too um, far ahead of ourselves, when we start thinking we've fucking made it. I remember seeing a post by Patrick Bet David, worth listening to at times. Can be a bit intense, but he's worth listening to. And he always says, like the message of it is like, if you think you've made it, just don't start. Don't go over the top, double down and get more results. Like, don't start sort of counting, that's it, we're done. Another way to see this is don't count your chickens until they've hatched, which is something I've been doing for the last 18 months, basically. So I'm just going to have a bit of a chat about the term, like in tech, main business, software business. In the software world or the technology world, we have this term called dogfooding, right? And what it means is you actually use your own solutions for two reasons. First reason is to you actually improve your own product, services, solutions by using them, because you're thoroughly testing them in the early days. You know what I mean? You're thoroughly trying to break it. You're almost like doing your own user acceptance testing of your own product. So in using them, you iron out any bugs and improve them, which is mega, right? And the second benefit, I think, the second thing, equally important as testing your own solutions, is whenever you create something or whenever you want to, like, whatever it is, right? Whether it's something in you create, something in your business, whatever that is, you have to dog food it. You have to test your own solutions. One, to improve it, but two, very important, is you need to be the best, like, cheerleader of yourself. Welcome to life. Thank you. Right. So this term dog fooding is great for two reasons. One, because you test your own solutions and continually improve them. And two, is if anyone's going to be the cheerleader of this product, anyone is going to be the best fan of whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to achieve, it ought to be you, right? Because if it isn't, if you don't believe in the methods that you're using, or maybe the methods that you're trying to sell to people, or whatever it is, then how's it going to be? How's it going to work, right? You really have to believe this stuff. If anyone's, it's like with our software, right? Of course, I think it's the best software, right? Because at the end of the day, if anyone's going to flip in believe in it, it has to be you. What the hell are you selling it for if you don't believe in it? So now, obviously, we don't want to cross into, let's say, arrogance or anything. We don't want to cross into arrogance, right? But you have to be a massive fan of yourself, of your own solution, right? That's it. Sorry, what are you talking about? Do I like India? I've never been to India. I used to work with a guy from India, kept telling me to go. And I've heard a lot of people, like Roberto's been, for yoga and things. I've never been, so I can't comment on it. I won't mind going seeing, the yoga side and stuff like this. Because obviously I'm doing a lot of meditation, so that's that. Anyway, yeah. So when it comes to dog fooding, you need to be your own best fan, right, to make it work. If you don't believe in it, when you see these people that they're creating a product, they're trying to, like, this is like the art of selling, right? You could manipulate someone into buying your product on and it's the best. And then if I was a customer, I'd just turn around and say, well, how's it working out for you? Like, are you using it? And if they're not, I think that's saying something, right? So, what do I mean by that? Well, this is something I noticed the other day, and back to what I said at the start. I don't want to count your chickens here, right? Because I think counting your chickens is another thing that you have to watch out for. Counting your chickens means counting your chickens before the eggs have hatched. I learned this a long time ago when I was first creating the software business, going out trying to sell it, and I was so sure that I would get that sale. I'd be like, oh, it's coming, and you almost like account for the money in the bank, and then you don't get the sale, and then you've no money and you're short, and you've maybe like emotionally invested into this money coming in, thinking, oh, I'm going to buy this with it, I'm going to go on holiday or whatever you're going to do, and then the sale doesn't land. So never count your chickens before they've hatched. But I think in this particular moment, the eggs are definitely cracked for me, right? Because in the software business, purchase orders are in, invoices are out. So like, whilst the money is not in the bank, the purchase orders are there from the client and the invoice has gone out, so they're going to get paid. 18 months of absolute graft I've been doing. Also with Goal Achievement Hub, you know, the journal business. About 18 months of work now, and it's been hard, you know. I mean, for 18 months I have been, talk about dog food in your own solutions, you know, with the journal. I'm on my third copy, right, and using that journal to set goals, set my day with intent. Done it this morning, do 3 small things a day, continually to get results. Have I been dog fooding that? I absolutely have. I mean, I've been journaling for years, but with this one, I've not missed a day. Continually done that for 18 months now. Well, it's just over a year actually, because this one it's just started. But in terms of the overall process, I've been designing the journal. So for 18 months now, I've put myself through, I'm going to call it a mini monk mode, if you know what that means. Like, the minute I committed to this business, I already knew I had a massive fight on my hands with my tech business, because I needed to change some structure and do some total, and I needed to get some big sales in and rescue some projects and things like this. So I already had more than enough work to do there. And then what did I do? I go and start the other business, just give myself even more to do, even more cost, even more, like, so the amount of money it's in, all that stuff. So for the last 18 months, I just put myself through absolute grind. Yeah, I've had a few days off, a few trips here and there, not much though. You know, prior to that, I spent about 3 years just not really working very hard, traveling a lot, enjoying life, from a previous time where I was going in like a monk mode, you know, really getting my head down and working. So these periods of when you really get your head down, what we're trying to say here, dog food in your own solution, the journal is literally about consistency, you know, setting goals, consistently working to them. So that's what I've been doing for 18 months, dog food in this, right? I'm improving it, because I'm using it in new ways, better ways, and I'm actually going to release. I just finished writing the text for example goals. So if you do get the journal, I've got like loads of examples. You could do this. This is a goal. That's a goal. Like templates, basically, of how you could fill it out. Because of my own use, I've come up with all these templates to fit the life harmony model. You know, when you go inside. So if you look at the life harmony model, you might want to make an achievement. You'll have to mirror it in any of them areas there. These are like the areas of life, categories of personal development, physical, mindset, spiritual, relationships, financial, occupational, like your job or your lifestyle. So you might want to set a goal in any of them areas. So I've been absolutely dog fooding this, and I've come up with a template for each of those 7 areas, which I'm just going to put into like a download PDF, and it's going to go in general resources on the website to help others. But like I say, I've spent 18 months grind, and the shoots are starting to show. You know, the eggs the eggs are there, and they're cracking, and they're just hatching. In another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, those eggs will have fully hatched, which is exciting for me, because if I look back over the last year, how difficult it's been, how much work I've had to do. But yeah, there's kind of a mindset with it, right? When you, goes back to some of the videos I've done on creating businesses, right? So if you're gonna start a business, you need that like determination, right, to not give up. And it's like I said the other day, right? If that's, you create that identity, you stick it on the horizon, you say that's where I'm heading, right? I'm going to be this business owner, whatever. And then it's like burn the boats, going 2 feet in. You're going for it no matter what. Now it doesn't mean that you've got a straight line path to it, because it might not be possible just to plan it and execute exactly how you think. So you've got to learn to pivot, right? Along the way, you've got obstacles are going to come up. You need to pivot around them. Your destination should remain all right. It might. It's like my software. You know, I originally thought I'd be selling to this client. I've ended up selling to that client, but the kind of vision is generally the same. But the amount of pivoting and sidestepping and trying this, that, and the other I've had to do along the years is what you need to do. So when you create a business, you've got to have that determination to not give up. And I always think that it's like what Musk said, you know, that he thinks the difference between success and not is that determination. It's the people that don't give up, and I think that's important. So when you're not giving up, you're going to dog food whatever you're selling. So whatever that you're doing or creating is solving a problem, you're going to use that to get your own success, like I'm doing with the journal. And you're not giving up. Now, it's you know, have you seen the video I did on, I can't remember the name of it now, it's like one of the it's based on the Valley of Despair, which I'll draw it on the back of here actually, right? There's this thing called the Valley of Despair, which is like a journey, you know, where you start some project or a business. So time, this is optimism, right, I think. And then you start there. Right, I'm going to draw this. And then you go, ooh, like that. And then this can be quite a gap. And then it starts to go up, right? So, sorry about this shitty diagram, but you're here. You start really optimistic when you start a business. This is time. I know you're going to have to, I should have wrote this back to front for the live. And then this is optimism. So this is level of optimism, right? So when you start out a new business, you're always full of beans. You're up here, you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to smash it. And then what happens a couple, 2-3 months in, you hit this point here where you get like conscious pessimism. You think, shit, this ain't that easy, right? And then you see all these, you think it's dead easy, and then all of a sudden you come up with all these problems, and you drop down here in this real low point, and it's called the Valley of Despair, right? Where this can be like 2 years, 3 years, it can be a massive long gap. So what you've got to do, this is where you need your persistence. And so here now, it might be very lonely, like as Ormosey says, you know, this is like the real lonely period between. So what Ormosey said was, when you're here now, you've not made it yet, so you've not earned the right to have the connections and the business success. So, and nobody's rooting for you, right? So that's it, right? So this is it, right? Nobody's rooting for you, nobody's kind of cheering you on. They'll cheer you on here when you start, and then when you drop into this Valley of Despair, this can be years, right? Very hard. And this is where your in the grind. And this is where you ought to be dog fooding your own solutions. This is what I've been doing for the last 18 months. I've just been like absolutely not refusing, sticking to the journal, doing my 3 things a day, setting my goals and achieving them. And this is flipping horrible. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and you start seeing the first shoots of, and then once you see that, once you get this upturn here, getting out of the valley of despair, is when the results can really compound. So Seth Godin, the marketing guy, said this in other videos. He's got a book called The Dip, and he calls it the dip. This is like when you're down here, this is when most people give up. Either here, they just think, oh shit, it's too hard. So the people that are just like not bought in at all, there's 2 types. There's people that think they want to do something hard, and they start, and then they get here. So this is like the person that starts the gym in January full of beans, February they're there, they quit. Right, now there are some people that carry on and they actually throw themselves into the valley of despair, whether that be like in the gym or getting in shape or starting a business, and they're in this valley of despair and it's really hard. So it doesn't matter, just try and picture really overweight in the gym, thinking, fucking hell, you've hit February, you're still in the gym, and you can either quit now or carry on. Here you're down in June, July, but you're still a fat bastard, and you're thinking, how long's this going to be? And it's a few months, and it's that push. Same in business, right? This is where Musk says it's those people that are determined to push through, and Seth Godin says that this is the point here, this real low point when you can't see any light, you don't know when it's going to upturn. Yeah, thank you. You don't know when it's going to upturn, right? And this is when most people give up. Some give up there, the real like dropouts give up at the start. The people that are down here, and the different, this is quite what I see, the difference is the people that keep going. This is why you need that determination. So you should dog food your own solutions. I've done it in the software world, which is where the term dog fooding comes from, in the technology world. We've been doing that for years. So we use our own software as a CRM and also as a quality management system for our business. And it's helped us to improve it. Remember the 2 benefits of dog fooding your own solutions. Number 1, you end up iterating and continuously improving your own product. And number 2, you ought to be the best cheerleader of that product. You literally, in order to sell anything, you ought to be the best fan. Like you need to be like, this is a brilliant thing. I'm not talking lying, you really need to believe in it and use it. And if you do that, both things will come true. The first thing is you'll improve your own products, services, whatever you're trying to do. And the second is you'll get your own success, so you'll improve it. And both things go together, right? So that's what I've been doing. Dog food in the journal and my software, obviously. And now, 18 months on, feels like I've been grinding like mad. I've got, so basically, even this week, I made more sales this week than I've ever done in the whole history. And that's in this 1 week than any month, in my software business. So it's like, that is 18 months of graft. I never thought I'd get it. And what does it come from? Dog fooding your own solutions. Right, I've got to shoot, so I've got a meeting. Favourite animal? Not dogs. I don't really like dogs, be honest, I'd be a cat person. I used to have cats. I wouldn't have a dog because a dog to me is like, it's like a child that never grows up. They're just a fucking liability. They're lovely. I like walking other people's dogs, but I won't have one. My favourite animal, tiger. Because that's what I feel like. Alright. Right. See you all next time.